Freedom is coming. Freedom is coming. Freedom is coming. Oh yes, I know. Freedom is coming. Freedom is coming. Freedom is coming. Oh yes, I know. 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 Freedom is coming. Freedom is coming. Freedom is coming. Oh yes, I know. Freedom is coming. Freedom is coming. Freedom is coming. Oh yes, I know. 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 Oh yes, I know.
Good morning. Freedom is coming, but we still have to respect public health measures. Thank you so much, choir. It's wonderful to have you here today. Welcome to the First Unitarian Church of Hamilton. My name is Mary Ellen Scanlon, and I'm this morning's service leader with Reverend Victoria. This morning, our service team includes Tim with our story, Rachel, Cindy, and the Zoom choir for music, and John, Monica, and Bruce on the technical side of things. As you know, your mics are muted until we break into groups at the end of the service, and we'd appreciate that you use the chat privately. Hamilton is situated on the traditional territories of the Erie, Neutral, Huron-Wendat, Haudenosaunee, and Mississaugas. This territory is covered by the Upper Canada Treaties and directly adjacent to the Haldimand Treaty lands. And we further acknowledge that this land is covered by the Between the Lakes Purchase of 1792 between the Crown and the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation. As settlers, this recognition of the contributions and historic importance of Indigenous peoples must be clearly connected to our collective commitment to make the promise and challenge of truth and reconciliation real in our communities. We stand in solidarity with murdered and missing Indigenous women, girls, transgender, and two-spirit people. Today, we also remember the family of Colton Boushie, who continue their fight for justice in his memory. Whoever you are, whomever you love, wherever you are on your journey of faith or search for meaning, today you are one of us, and you are welcome in this time of worship. Our mission is to nurture one another, serve the community, and inspire action to heal the world. Our opening words are by Bernadette R. Burns. Let us take a moment to relax and catch our breath. Let us bring our focus here, to this space, to this group of people, and to this moment. We bring a myriad of talents, ideas, needs, and styles. Yet within this diversity, there is a common bond between us. We love this fellowship, and we are willing to work together to improve and strengthen this community of ours and our lives. I have some special chalice lighting words today They're from the Jewish tradition in recognition of Passover, which began last evening. May the light we now kindle inspire us to use our powers to heal and not to harm, to help and not to hinder, to bless and not to curse, to serve you, Spirit of freedom. Please join me in our unison chalice lighting words. May this flame be our light of friendship and love.
Good morning. We're going to sing number 1023, which is a Quaker round, and normally I'd get you all to sing at different times. But this morning, we're going to repeat it through 3 times. If you feel like making a round, go ahead. Building bridges between our divisions, I reach out to you. Will you reach out to me with all of our voices and all of our visions? Friends, we could make such sweet harmony. Building bridges between our divisions, I reach out to you. Will you reach out to me with all of our voices and all of our visions? Friends, we could make such sweet harmony. Building bridges between our divisions, I reach out to you. Will you reach out to me with all of our voices and all of our visions? Friends, we could make such sweet harmony.
Story this morning is We Are the Water Protectors, and it is a story about the current efforts by our First Nations people to protect our fresh water, but it also refers to a legend from the Anishinaabe people, and it refers to a black snake, which has come to mean the pipelines that run across our continent. Water is the first medicine, Mikumas told me. We come from water. It nourished us inside our mother's body as it nourishes us here on Mother Earth. Water is sacred, she said. We stand with our songs and our drums. We are still here. The river's rhythm runs through my veins, runs through my people's veins. My people talk of a black snake that will destroy the land. Spoil the water, poison plants and animals, wreck everything in its path. When my people first talked of the black snake, they foretold that it wouldn't come for many, many years. Now the black snake is here. Its venom burns the land, courses through the water, making it unfit to drink. Take courage. I must keep the black snake away from my village's water. I must rally my people together. To stand for the water, to stand for the land, to stand as one against the black snake. We stand with our songs and our drums. We are still here. It will not be easy. We fight for those who cannot fight for themselves, the winged ones, the crawling ones, the four-legged, the two-legged, the plants, trees, rivers, lakes, the earth. We are all related. Tears like waterfalls stream down, tracks down my face, tracks down my people's faces. Water has its own spirit. Nukumis told me, water is alive. Water remembers our ancestors. Who came before us, she said. We stand with our songs and our drums. We are still here. We are stewards of the earth. Our spirits have not been broken. We are water protectors. We stand. The black snake is in for the fight of its life. And that's the end of our story today.
Thank you, Tim, for that story this morning. Welcome all. It's good to see you today. On a bit of a gray morning, so let's take an opportunity to reconnect with the warmth and the joy of being together in a time of contemplation and prayer. Today, we will celebrate the Trans Day of Visibility. And I've got a reading here from Teresa Inés Soto that is a letter to the trans community. Dear trans, non-binary, genderqueer, or gender-expansive friends and kin, and those of us whose gender is survival, let me explain. No, there is too much. Let me sum up. You are not hard to love and respect. Your existence is a blessing. Your pronouns are not a burden or a trial. They are a part of your name, just shorter. Someone getting them wrong is not a poor reflection on you. It is not your fault. Your body really and truly belongs to you, no one else. The stories of your body, the names of your body's parts, your body's privacy, the sum of your body's glory. It is not okay for anyone to press their story on you. Back to the beginning of your and our liberation. We will find the people ready to be on the freedom path for the people way. We will go on. No one can rename you other. It can't stick as you offer the gift of being and saying who you are. Mostly, though, your stories belong to you. Your joy and complexity are beautiful, however you may choose to tell it or not tell it. Some folks, cis, may take their liberty for an unholy license. You are beloved. Please keep to our shared tasks of healing, getting free.
Jagadambe Ma, Jagadambe, Jagadambe Ma, Jagadambe Ma, Jagadambe, Jagadambe.
Thank you, Cindy. I really appreciated that very much. I'm trying to find my notes here. Here we go. So tomorrow is another day. And unfortunately, it's a day that includes a return to lockdown here in Hamilton. I find myself sometimes in a state of dazed confusion. What is it again that we can do and can't do? Sort of just keeps limiting my life instead of providing me moments of enlightenment and optimism. My sense of cautious optimism about seeing brighter days ahead, after all, it is spring and there are vaccines. It's getting bruised and battered as the virus continues to vary and spread itself throughout the world. What I was able to face with a certain calm and acceptance last spring is just now irritating and annoying, and I am cranky. And by what I see and hear, I don't think that I'm alone. Pandemic fatigue is quite real. All of us experience it to some degree or another, at least every once in a while. We're all just tired and more than a bit fed up with the whole situation. And yet, there are many in our community who are even more tired and truly exhausted and burned out from a constant level of fear and unknown, the uncertainty and the confusion, as well as trying to work and care for themselves and others and stay safe. So I try to keep it in perspective. And sometimes I do a pretty good job, and sometimes I'm cranky. So then into the mix, let's continue to add more changes in our lives, the things we've experienced because of the pandemic, but just the other kinds of things that happen in life. You have the perfect mix then of strife and misunderstanding and disruption. At a time when we're all feeling a bit raw and overtaxed, we still need to be able to communicate with one another, get along, solve problems together, find ways to collaborate and move through the world with compassion and patience. I'm reminded of that classic song lyric that most of you my age or there somewhere else will remember as, I get by with a little help from my friends. I can't tell you how important the loved ones and people in my life are right now in helping me get back on track and keeping me sane. I'm sure it's true for you with the people that you love and care about too. So I want to talk today about this need to continue to pull together, because in addition to everything else in our pulling together and pulling ourselves together for the benefit of our community, our church community is experiencing change as well. In the midst of a worldwide pandemic, international contention, and national uncertainty, our own beloved community will be facing some important transitions in the next few months, weeks, years. As you know, at the end of June, I will be retiring and leaving this job as your minister. Recently, Joanne Deere told you more about the procedures and processes that go into bringing an interim minister to serve you and to help the congregation prepare to call another settled minister in the future. It is an exciting and dynamic time in the life of the congregation. They say in the Chinese language that the word for crisis includes characters for two other words: danger and opportunity. And while my retirement is hardly a crisis, this time in the life of the church is one filled with the potential for dangers and also for amazing opportunities. The challenge is keeping the vision and goals of this community foremost in this process. A potentially dangerous aspect of the months ahead is the prospect of letting individual desires and agendas overwhelm the collective best interests of this congregation. It might be thought of as not being on the same page as you all tackle the tasks that are ahead. The opportunities include aligning around a common vision and a set of goals that allow the church to grow in new ways, evolve into a new formation, and expand in innovative areas. The opportunity is to create the best of all possible outcomes through collaboration, communication, commitment, and consensus. Auto manufacturer Henry Ford said that coming together is a beginning, staying together is a process, and working together is a success. The greatest asset for building a team is trust. Building and nurturing trust is at the heart of our faith and our spiritual path. Not necessarily easy, but it's there and it's important. We are called to show up fully in the process and give our attention to what is meaningful in our interactions with one another. Showing up, being reliable, those are part of building trust. Also, to choose to be vulnerable and honor the vulnerability of others as we consider our hopes and desires for the future of this church community. Each person must make an individual commitment to the group's efforts. So in building trust and moving forward in that light, it's time to let go of blame and judgment and speak our truths from a place of contributing to the creation of a more perfect future, to working together to build that vision. It's time to open ourselves to possibilities, what ifs, opportunities, and why nots. It's time to consider taking risks. I'm not talking about fanciful leaps into the unknown, but risks that have the potential to result in unimagined and positive outcomes. Ginny Romerty, who is a former top executive with IBM, has said that someone once told her that growth and comfort do not coexist. And she thinks it's a really good thing to remember. I think that's true in any change process, that getting on that movement and going toward the future isn't always comfortable. You're going to need to anticipate that along with the change, there will be moments of discomfort or disharmony and uncertainty. And I also know you will survive being uncomfortable. You can learn by exploring what it is about a situation that is making you experience that discomfort, diving deep to find out what the answer might be. And then that answer will allow you to address the issue instead of it becoming a logjam in the flow of progress and your own growth. Despite COVID, and despite life's uncertainty, despite the changes ahead, if everyone pulls together, there's a better chance of getting through and out the other side in better shape than you went in. There will be the chance that everyone has risked showing each other their vulnerability, soft and needy places that we try to hide sometimes. And also a chance not only to demonstrate our vulnerability, but our strengths and talents as well. We will have shared our effort in an atmosphere of trust and respect, collaboration and cooperation, because we care about the goal. We will have pulled together to create a reality that more closely aligns with our vision of what a better world could be. And we will each be changed in ways we never imagined, but we always hope for in the depths of our being. I want to close my message today with these words from poet Gary Snyder. In the next century, or the one beyond that, they say, are valleys, pastures. We can meet there in peace if we make it. To climb these coming crests, one that will work for you and for your children, we need to follow these words. Stay together, learn the flowers, go light. Let's sing together.
Number 1008, When Our Heart is in a Holy Place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart
each of us, every color, every creed and kind, and we see our faces in each other's eyes. Then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we tell our story from deep inside, and we listen with a loving mind, and we hear our voices in each other's words, then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we share the silence of sacred space, and the God of our heart stirs within, and we feel the power of each other's faith, then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place.
As Victoria extinguishes the chalice, I'll share these closing words by Eric Walker Wickstrom. If you are who you were, and if the person in the square next to you is who they were, if none of us has changed since the day we came to this community, we have failed. The purpose of this community, of any church, temple, zendo, or mosque, is to help its people grow. We do this through encounters with the unknown, in ourselves, in one another, in the other, whoever that might be for us, however hard that might be. Because these encounters have many gifts to offer. So may you go forth from here this morning, not who you were, but who you could be. So may we all. Blessed be.